everyone. In this video, we're going to test out this simple and very useful tool for manual trading. Actually, for anyone who needs to study the chart, and every trader needs to study the chart. So when we scan the chart, it is very important for us to get a good sense of how price is moving, and we need to know the distance between two prices. And we need to keep a very good view of how price is moving. But often with the default tool MT forgives, in order for us to do that, there's only two ways. One is to physically measure the distance between 2 points. One is to use those grids. But to measure the distance between 2 points, it takes too much time. And also to use these grids, because these grids remains constant, but price chart often scales out constantly based on the prices. So this grid doesn't really serve its purpose. So a lot of times we need extra tools to do that. See this tool, let me just use the default for now. So this tool is basically draw a series of grid lines, horizontal grid lines that at a fixed interval that will help you to know how much the price is. In this case, each grid is 25 pips, and now you can easily see from here to here is roughly how much move. And also when you move the chart around, and this will adjust to its grid. So obviously right now this price chart contains a lot more price movement because this is 25 pips. This is very narrow versus here 25 pips is very wide. So the way this indicator works is this. I did give a few extra options. First, let's explain this in the end. Line interval 25 means 25 pips. Line number 5 means I always have a center line, which I'm using a red color. 5 means I will have 5 grid on top of the center and 5 at the bottom of the center. Depending on how scaled in and out of your chart is, you can freely define how many lines you want, because we don't want it to draw the lines indefinitely, because we can only see a small portion of the line. And then the default line color for the all other grids is gray, and center line color for the center one is red. And then also you can define line style and line thickness. So now they come to the first display mode, and here's the help for those. There's 3 ways to display. In all 3 ways we always display a series of lines. In this case it's 11 lines and equally spaced at 25 pips. It is just where we put the center line, that method is different. It's based on display mode. First mode is center, second is last price, 3 is drag and drop. So this is what default is. 1, it means center. This is how center works. So basically the center line is always going to be around the center of the chart, and also you can see these lines is always located in those so-called sweet spot round numbers. Because I'm using 25 as interval, see, you can see these are all round numbers. But because the chart top and bottom we cannot control, it's like random. So see it here. It takes some time for this to adjust back to center. That was pretty slow. I guess right now the market is just too slow. It needs the next tick for it to automatically adjust to the center. This won't be the exact center. The exact center, if I would say, it is See, it is the center between the top and bottom is probably roughly around here. But for this option, we're going to put all these lines at the sweet spot. So we always put the center as the absolute center and the next down, the one located at the sweet spot. Okay, so if I move this, now you can see the center of the chart is roughly around here. So now then my center line is adjusted at the next down, which is located at the sweet spot. And for this option here, basically, I want to draw a series of lines that is located at a sweet spot. And I always make the center roughly around the center of the price chart, so these grids are evenly distributed. This is the first option. The second option, if we're using two meaning last price, so now if I switch back, this center line is always located at the current last price. This will be good if you are currently, I'm about to open trades, because for any trader, if you are making real-time trades, the current price is the most important price. And once, see, this center line will move with the current price, and these will be 25, 50, 75 pips on above and below. So now if I were to trading here, it's very easy for me to tell what kind of chart I'm looking at, what kind of price movement I'm looking at. For example, like right now, see, here is a kind of have a little bit somewhat a support here. If I want my trade to be around this area, to be take profit, obviously I need it's going to be roughly 25 pips, because this is 25. So there's an advantage to put these at the center. And once you choose a second, this grid constantly moves based on the last price on the chart. Okay, so for the third option, which is drag and drop. So first is based on center of the chart. And as you move the chart back and forth, it always relocate the center line to the center of the chart, and it will always locate at the sweet spot. The second is based on the last price, and these will not be at those sweet spot, but it will at a fixed interval of the current price. For the third option, drag and drop, basically it means the user could freely drag and drop the center line to relocate the entire grid. It works like this. For example, let me just get rid of this. So assuming I'm scanning the back chart, right now I wanted to know if I open, let me just make this a little bit small. For example, I am going to open trade for this particular up move here. And with my trading strategy, I most likely would be open a trade at the end of this bar. So if I open trade here, I wanted to see instantly what is the best take profit value for this particular hypothetical move in the past. In this case, if I drag it here, I can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if my take profit is 125 pips, it will be maximum profit. And then if for some reason my study tells me I need to sell here, I drag it here, I can see for this down move, I probably, if my take profit is 50, 60 pips, or like 70 pips, if I can hold on to it here before hitting stop loss, which is unlikely, and that will be the maximum for this move. So if I go through the history chart when I study my strategy, and this will be a very good tool for me to see each step. I can easily tell, for example, here, see right now it's changing it pretty slow, because at this point market is slow. Next tick, it just adjusted. And then instead of every move I have to measure, so I can see for this move it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So maybe like 125 pips as well. So this, to me, when I was developing my strategy, I used this function all the time before I decide a pretty good, for example, what is the appropriate take profit level for the past year for my strategy, something like that. So basically, this is all this indicator is doing. It just helps you to see the price chart and get a good sense of scale of the price chart.